and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have a mission statement, which I'm trying to learn to heart. Okay? Here it is. This is our new one. Empowering learners, enriching lives. Can I have a roll call, please, Ms. Stock?
Mrs. Beitman? Here. Mr. Adsett?
Here.
Mr. Crum?
Here.
Mr. Davidson?
Here.
And I'm here.
Guess how many that is?
Quorum.
That is a quorum, 5-0. Let's go. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please?
So moved. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right, we've got an approved agenda. All right, this is really weird, but we have a presentation tonight from, all right, so can I introduce I know it's a little early, I'm gonna go a little early, but we have our new student representatives. We have Erica Stutzman and Walker Mitchell, Bighorn, Tongue River. I'm going to explain this to you. When we are on the Bighorn side, we have a Bighorn school that presents. Tonight it will be Bighorn High School. When we're on the Tongue River side, Tongue River School will present. But then we also, whoever one of you, whatever side we're on, you go first on the Bighorn side, you'll go first on the Tongue River side. So that's kind of how it's played. Okay? So no surprises except for tonight. All right. So we have a Bighorn High School presentation tonight, and the one and only Ryan Furman. Mr. Furman.
Wow. Wait till you see the presentation. Mr. Chair, members of the board, colleagues, students, I am here to present for Bighorn High School. And that feels a little bit weird, having done it for 3 years for Tongue River Elementary. If you remember last year, I did include a picture, and I thought it would be appropriate to find my high school graduating photograph. That is me, moments after walking across the stage at the event center. Please note.
I didn't know you wore glasses.
Yeah. No, common mistake. I'm the one with a sweet 90s goatee.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Here I am now. That's I've aged a little bit. This is my son, who is now in that shoe. He's a high school senior. He's really excited for me to be. We're comparing our t-shirts, and he's realizing mine's slightly better. When you take over a new school, you have an opportunity to kind of think about the message and the school that you're headed to and what you want to both embrace or maybe bring. And what I realized as I stepped into my new role is that Bighorn High School has a very strong legacy, but it also has some missing pieces. And one of the most important things I found over the summer was we don't have a good Harry Potter-esque patch. And so one of the very first things I did, this was in June, I got on ChatGPT to have it work with me to come up with what would become, for myself, kind of like the crest as I step into this new role in a new high school. And like any good crest, I do have some Latin. And unless Mr. Callahan was actually the man with me on the graduating stage, was my Latin teacher, I'm not going to try to pronounce these in honor of him, but they translate into bravery, honor, heart, and scholarship. BHHS. And the idea is as I step into this new role, I will try to focus on these values, and I will recognize those in my students as well. And so we are looking for bravery, doing the thing, even though it might be a little difficult. Honor, doing the thing that's right to do no matter what. Heart, caring about others, and of course scholarship, making sure that we're learning and learning deeply. As you may know, we now have campus expectations, so this will probably be the one of 3 times you will see Bighorn. We have boiled it down to work hard, be nice. That we expect everyone to do great things by working hard, being nice, and contributing to our school. The other thing I realize we don't have is a really great motto. We got Bram Bam, and I am using that. But as I thought about what really encapsulates Bighorn and the legacy of Bighorn, I came up with we kind of dominate everything we do. I don't know if that's an official motto, but it's a little bit about the story of Bighorn. As you know from last year, I'm a big fanboy of Edwards Deming. I know a lot of you are into systems, managers, and scientists. And he has the quote, every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. So what are those here at Bighorn? As you know from last year, we had a lot of students coming through to be recognized for being state champs. Football, volleyball, drama, speech and debate, boys track and field, all took home state championships, and we're on the path again. On ACT, in terms of scholarships, we had an average of 22, which is second in the state, and that's all schools. Math, 21.5, that's third in the state with all schools. Reading, 22.5, second in the state, all schools. Science, 21.5, we're third in the state, all schools. And in Y-Top, we're top 5 in all categories, grades 9 and 10. That boils down to an accountability rating of exceeding expectations. All that work gets this label, but here's what that looks like. So if I can orientate you on this graph, on this axis is growth that's being achieved, and on this y-axis is percentage at or above proficient. Ideally, you would be way over here where every student is growing and way up in advanced or proficient. So out of all of those dots, which one, I know it's a little hard to read, do you think might be Bighorn?
Hopefully not a green one.
No, it's a blue one.
Okay.
We're right there. With 80% at or above proficient in reading and math. Which is pretty great. But of course, that's not good enough, not for Bighorn and not for me. As Edwards Deming said, it's not enough to do your best, you must know what to do and then do your best. Or in other words, just because it works doesn't mean it can't be made even better. I love this picture, not that I think it represents Bighorn. So here's where we're improving our game here at Bighorn as I start my leadership. We just worked together last week to finalize our school goal, and this is from our evaluation system. We think as we pursue this, it will be a leverage point to make us better and better. So here, straight off the rubric, this is how we evaluate teachers. A distinguished teacher provides opportunities for students to assess their own learning in relation to the success criteria for the learning targets in ways that deepen student understanding of progress towards the targets. Students use success criteria for improvement. Here's kind of what that means. How many of you have ever tried to solve a Rubik's Cube? How many of you have been successful? Okay. So this might be helpful. So when we think about learning, sometimes I think it's nice to think about it as a Rubik's Cube problem. When the kids come in, this is where they're at. We hope by the time they leave, this is where they get to, right? But sometimes as teachers, we forget what it's like to come into the room like this, because we've already achieved this. It's called the curse of knowledge. And I have an expert here who's going to teach the board a little bit about how to solve a Rubik's Cube. But I think sometimes, in our classroom, this is how it feels to be a student.
Okay, so the first step to solving the 3-1-3 is getting all the white edges up to the yellow center. To do that, you're going to get the white edges, white facing off of the center onto the side. And then once you have that done, you're going to put the white edges connected to their centers, and you're going to do R2 to put them down onto the layer where they need to go. So then.
Got it? Nothing he said was incorrect, but he was an expert. And so what we want to do as a staff is think about the progression to go from not knowing to knowing. And some of the work that we're doing as a district is building proficiency scales. And so as a school, we're going to be taking those proficiency scales and turning them into student-focused learning targets that help guide the students from this to this. So if you take a look at all of this, You can't do that all in one day, so maybe we focus as teachers on just 2 learning targets. I can identify and describe the structure of a cube, the faces, edges, corners, and centers. You guys feel good on that one? Yeah, he used some of that language. I can use standard cube notation, RLUDFB, to describe moves. He used that as well, if you caught it. Do you know what that means? It's pretty hard. Right, left, up, down, front, back. He was describing how he was spinning the cube. Because to solve a Rubik's Cube, you put in an algorithm. You do the same moves as you work it. So if you have mastered these, you guys are ready to start moving up to the next layer. What we want to do as a school is have students think about where they are on this journey with a little bit more intentionality. I'm not saying our teachers aren't, but I'm saying if we do it a little bit more, we'll get them to this that much faster and that much easier. Okay. Other things we're doing to raise our game is we're preparing for post-high school, as you know. Right now, we have 43 students in dual and concurrent classes, which means functionally they are college students. And 20 leave our campus to go do work-based. If you've noticed, I have shrunken the board. That's not because I think we need a cozier board meetings. It's because I've converted that side into our dual room. So when students come in here, they're starting to not only take college classes, but be treated like a college student, where they are more self-directed, trying to get a little bit of that student-centered lounge where you can go and do your work. Students like Mr. Mitchell over there come in and get her done. So that's one initiative. Continue to do that. Next is community readiness. So I stumbled upon a discovery, as one does, out of desperation. Desperation was, it turns out, when you become a new principal, you're also in charge of concessions and finding who to work. And I had a student who had scheduled a meeting because he wanted to go home. He's like, I have a free period, I don't want to be here, I got nothing to do. I said, do you like business? He's like, yes. I said, do you want to run a concession stand? And he said, yeah, that sounds kind of fun. I have given it entirely to him to do my inventory, to do the ordering. He's meeting with Tracy down in our cafeteria to order through Cisco. He's managing all of that. He's creating the menu and the pricing, and he doesn't ask to go home anymore. And what I've realized is, especially a high school, is a system that really is a community in micro levels. Like we have legal systems, we have medical systems, we have all these different systems. And right now we have a great process of getting students out into the community, but I would love to explore, and I plan on exploring, of how we can have students service the community that is our high schools in meaningful and realistic ways and take the lessons from that. And so this is just the start, I think, of other places of plugging in students to what they are passionate about, but contribute to our school. But up next, actually, is we're going to tackle the trophy cases, because we've got a lot of trophies that are not engraved. So I'm looking for someone who's into museum quality exhibits. All right, next, excited every day. I just want to take a moment to introduce my new staff, because we have been very fortunate to welcome Emily Mitchell into our library, Shannon Mikesel into our math classroom, Clark Chesbrough into our CT&E and Woods program, and Lauren Bigler into our ag. And they have already brought a level of passion and care that is changing, or just infusing, I guess, into Bighorn High School. And we're very, very fortunate for the board support of the ag program. I think great things are going to happen with Mrs. Bigler at the head of that. The other question I ask myself is, because I have kids, and I have 3 kids, and they're all kind of various levels of students, and the one thing they've had in common about high school is they never were like really, really excited to go to school every day. By the time they reach high school, that thing I saw in Tongue River Elementary, that exuberance and joy, sort of kind of fizzles and becomes like a thing you're doing. Because you know you have to, and you know it's important, but that like spark is somewhat missing. And so what I thought would be fun is, what if every student was excited to come to high school every day? We're not there yet by any measure, but we started, and so I talked about this last time, the opening day of high school. We did the band, we did the countdown, we did the lawn party as a way to start to think about ways we can make kids more excited for high school. And then lastly, the other project is, as I went to take the helm, I asked a question, what's the Bighorn fight song? And then I became like Indiana Jones, because nobody knew. There were rumors, people had heard it, maybe in the past, no one had heard it sung in a while. And so it became my mission to find the lost Bighorn fight song. And nobody knew. Until I talked to Dustin Olson, who's like, I know the music it is. It's the Washington and Lee Swing. But I don't know the lyrics. And I was losing hope. All hope is almost lost until I discovered, thanks to Brian Lawson, that it is on the second page of the Bighorn Middle School handbook. Which means it's board approved. And so I'm very excited to share the lyrics of the Bighorn fight song in its entirety, rediscovered, reunited, and we have sang it so far 2 times. Well, we have played the music 2 times. We tried to sing it 1 time. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. But of course, this was the lyrics I found in the page. This was the listing of the song. That doesn't really give you a good idea. So I took some time to stitch together the lyrics and the words. You don't have to sing, but if you would like to, here is the Bighorn fight song.
It's a great way to end with a fight song.
I thought so.
Nice presentation, Mr. Furman. Do you guys have any questions for Mr. Furman? Thank you. Well done. All right. So we have a couple visitors. I see no visitor comments from this. We have reports. And for the year 2025-26, we have 2 new student representatives. And this is now our 4th year of student representatives.
I think longer than that.
5? Anyway, and we're excited to have you here. One of the reasons we want student representation on the board is to get some of their perspective. And they bring with them enthusiasm, and we actually get to see a couple of students once in a while, which we don't get to see very often. How we work it, when we're on the Bighorn side, we start with Bighorn. When we're on Tongue River side, we'll start with Tongue River. I'd like to introduce Walker Mitchell from Bighorn High School. He's a senior, and then we also have Erica Stutzman from Tongue River High School. And we will start with Walker tonight. Thank you, Walker.
Well, forgive me if I'm a little nervous. This is my first time ever doing anything even close to this, but I'm super excited to be here. So just kind of giving a little report. So the student council, we've changed a lot of things up this year so far. We've really been implementing Robert's Rules of Order. We're getting that down to a T. It's kind of nifty to see all the students be able to take part into a meeting like that in that formal of a fashion. We've been planning out homecoming a lot. Homecoming means a bunch to Bighorn. I mean, that's like one of the events they have the most passion for is homecoming. So we've been working on that a lot so far. And then something I'm excited for is the Fall Leadership Academy, which is next Monday, the 22nd. So we're gonna have our student council go up to Casper and take part in that over a day. Pretty excited for that. The student bodies, so everyone's kind of just settling in. We're absolutely honored to have Mr. Furman here for a principal this year. It's super awesome. The students could not be more pleased with that change. So, Mr. Furman, thank you again. And then the sports, football, volleyball, golf, cross country, we're getting those kicked off. Everyone, there's a level of exuberance for the sports that I have not seen in previous years. We're getting more people in golf, more people in cross country, and then football and volleyball as always. Students are just super amped for that. But other than that, there's really no concerns or anything. We're just all settling in and so far kicking off the year pretty strong. So,
Awesome. Well done, Walker.
thank you.
You got the first one out of the way.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Not that bad. Not that
Yeah. Nice job. All right, Ms. Stutzman,
Uh,
tell us what's going on at Tongue River.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Erica, as he's introduced me. I wasn't nervous until people asked me if I was, and then I started thinking I maybe should be, I don't know. But I'm here to represent our student body and our student council. We've worked a lot this year already, just at the beginning of the year, we try and get everybody involved and comfortable with the people they're around, their new teachers, this and that. So as a council, like at the beginning of the week of the beginning of the school year, like the first week of school, we try to do a lot of games and activities just to keep people involved. So we've done a couple things to introduce the teachers. We did one activity on the first day of school at an assembly to introduce all the new students. So that was just them interacting with some of the returning students. And then we also like to do a lot of class competitions. So it's whatever games we can find for that. And we have collected points throughout the year. Something else we've done as a student council this year is we opened our second flight thrift store, which is a student-run thrift store available for Tongue River apparel, and we collect by donation, so it's 100% profit to the council. And we open Thursday mornings before school, and we will have like some home events too. It depends on who can be where, because we're all really involved in everything. And that's just all on our Instagram of like when we're open, where we're at, and all things like that. It's been super successful so far, and it's really fun to like see the old things from old students or old families that were part of Tongue River, and then the new kids to be able to have that and use that. Similar to Bighorn, our focus has been homecoming lately. It's planning every little detail, and it's such a fun way to get people involved in school spirit. One thing we do is sell spirit boxes to the members of our community and businesses, so we sell them as a fundraiser for our council, but that's just to get people involved. In the past, we've had it as a competition of who can decorate their business or building the best, but this year we're just kind of having that as a fun thing to do. And we do hallway decorations, which we spend the first day of homecoming, which is Monday the 22nd for our school. Monday the 29th for our school. And we spend part of the day decorating our hallways. As a council, we'd like to invite the members of the school board to be our judges this year. If you are interested at all, you can reach out to me or Miss Blaine, who's our advisor, and that would just happen.
When is that?
Monday the 29th. So that would just be right after school. We normally judge right then, and by the end of the week, the hallways are kind of destroyed. And then also Monday, we are doing a kickoff barbecue, so that's at the middle school. That's technically hosted by the middle school student council, so it's a super just fun way to get started and involve them. And Thursday, Friday are big homecoming things of obviously all the events, so we want to invite everybody to come to as much as they can to be involved. We had FFA at the Ag Expo today, so that was at the fairgrounds, I believe, and we had a lot of different members of our chapter presenting and doing different presentations to the little ones that are there and just helping out. We have the college fair for the juniors. That's tomorrow. I think Big Bird's going to that too. That's at Sheridan College. And so far, sports and preseason games have been going really well. And we have state golf this weekend in Douglas, so trying to keep all the spirit up for that. And we're super excited for them. And also for our Fall Leadership Summit that we get to go to in Casper next Monday. It's such a cool experience for the newcomers in student council. And it's really great for involvement in networking between schools because you get to meet people from all over our region. And yeah, that's kind of where we're looking right now. We don't really have any concerns because there's a lot of new things happening and big changes with how big our freshman class is. We got rid of our senior class, had like around 35 people, and then this upcoming freshman class has around 70. So we're kind of adjusting to that change, which has changed a lot between classes and scheduling and lockers. There's freshmen in our senior hallway now, and there's a lot of different things going on with that.
It's all thrown up in the air.
But yeah, that's all I have for you guys tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Stutzman. Nice job. Well done. I have to give you guys a little warning. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of newfound fame tomorrow. Cynthia's been all over shared media, taking your picture, it's gonna be all over everything. I just wanna remind you to, keep the paparazzi away, and, stay humble and grounded, and enjoy, you're gonna have to deal with being very popular now. So,
Everybody will see your photo.
all right, well done, thank you. Do I have a WSCA report? All right, don't see anybody. We received our administrators' reports, thank you, all of you. Business managers' reports, anything to add, Mr. Smith?
No, Mr. Chairman, but always happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Okay. And our superintendent's report from Dr. Jones, anything to add?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a couple quick things that are beyond what I had placed in the written report, and that is just an update on some things that we're doing to bring more awareness to our brand new strategic plan. We've been doing lots of work already with the teaching and learning end of things. This afternoon we met as an administrative team to prepare for our next district day, which a lot of our professional development during that day is going to center around Tier 1 instruction, which is under the essential element of teaching and learning in our strategic plan. But tonight, I wanted to just talk a bit about one of the other essential elements. So in our strategic plan, we have 4 essential elements: teaching and learning, resource management, community collaboration, and supportive environments. Under resource management, one of the things that we have as an initiative is to build a system to recruit and retain quality staff through competitive pay, professional growth opportunities, and workplace incentives. And I feel like the board has been extremely supportive in those areas, and I know it's a priority to continue in those efforts. One of the things that is new for us this year, and it started, actually, I have to say, quite a few years as a principal at Tongue River Middle School. It was something that I dealt with firsthand, and that is when we have teachers having to give up their planning time to fill in another classroom. And just to kind of let you know how that works. So if we have, if we come to school one day and we have a teacher that's out, put in for a sub, the first thing that happens is the admin assistant and the principal go over the plan for the day, and they see that, you know, Mrs. Smith is gone. And so let's just say in the middle school, Mrs. Smith teaches periods 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And so second and third are her preps. So you don't need anybody to cover in her class during those hours, but you do need somebody to cover first period, fourth period, fifth period, sixth period, and on. And so you look at your master schedule and you look at your teachers and say, all right, who's got a planning period, first period? All right, these 2 people, which one am I gonna pick this time? I'll pick this person. And you start filling the holes throughout the day. And people have done that year after year after year because it has to be done. We've gotta have people in the classroom. Unfortunately, what happens though is it starts to wear on the culture of your school. It starts to wear on the morale, because if that was the one time that you had to prepare for your day of teaching, and now I just took that away and have you in front of a classroom to be a sub, the more that happens, the harder it is to swallow. And so we've talked about ways to solve that problem. And last spring, we did a little test run just to kind of gather information. I had the administrative assistants in every building track who was covering and how often it was happening, just so we had kind of an idea of, you know, is this something that happens rarely, or does it happen pretty frequently? Is it people that are covering, is it different in one at the elementary versus the middle and high school. And so going into this school year, we had a pretty good story of what was happening, so we could wrap our heads around that and prepare a plan that would suit, what we had kind of learned more about. And so in that plan, it's called Pay for Prep, and we implemented that at the beginning of this school year. And what that does is, to make a long story short, and I'm probably not doing a very good job of that right now, you take a person who had a planning period, they don't have students, and now they're asked to be in front of students. We're paying them for that time. We're paying them at the rate that we would pay for what we have in curriculum work and other types of work like that. It's $45. And so it doesn't happen often, but I'm just looking at the tracking of this right now. We have a Google sheet that we track it at each building, and the admin assistants monitor this. And like right now, Bighorn High School had their first one today. A teacher was out in the afternoon and they didn't have a sub. And so there's 3 different people that filled in 4th period, 5th period, and 6th period. So those people are gonna get compensated for their time. So it's not a lot. It doesn't happen a lot as an individual person. How often are you, in that situation where you have to fill in? Hopefully it's not a lot because it's spread out across your staff. But at the same time, we feel like it does address something that they've asked for, our teaching staff, and that, I appreciate you at least doing something to say, I appreciate what you're doing, we recognize it. It's not an incentive. No one wants to have to be in that situation, but it's a way to say thank you, and it's a way to maybe help with that initiative of encouraging a strong teacher culture. And I think one of the best ways you can do that is by saying thank you when they step up. So I wanted that to bring that to your guys' attention.
I'm good. Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Jones? All right. We're moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
In old business, we have the second reading of policies DID, IGDJ, IAA, IAB/IIAC. Could I get a motion to approve these policies on second reading as presented, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions, comments?
Just a comment, when we read those off for the people on the other side of the table, they probably don't have a lot of idea what that was about.
Well, let me tell you what these are. I'll go through that. Thank you for that, Bill. DID, policy DID is fiscal management. This is about inventories. Policy IGDJ is instructional programs. This is under instructional programs. This is extracurricular activities. And this one we have redone a little bit here. And policy IIAA is under instructional program again. Curriculum resource adoption is IIAA, and policy IAB-IIAC under instructional program again is supplementary material selection and adoption. Thanks for that, Mr. Edsett.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like us to take a look at IGDJ,
Okay.
extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're really close,
Okay.
but I had some stakeholder feedback that actually I want to take a little bit more time on. I think it was
Okay.
good feedback. If you look at the bottom third of the page, the first bullet, where it says a written request
Mm-hmm.
for each activity or athletic program the child wishes to participate in must be made to the superintendent or his or her designee. And then it just kind of, the process goes from there. The feedback that I received was, so what's the criteria for the superintendent? I mean, what is the superintendent gonna do? What are you looking for to move the ball forward on this whole process? And I knew what I was thinking, like, don't hold it up, make sure that the student meets the age requirements, they're not 24 years old and can't participate in WHSAA activities anyways, and on and on. But I feel like if I'd had more time this afternoon, I would give you a recommendation for some language around that.
But we don't have any language really on the criteria.
Correct. I just want better clarity
Yeah.
around that, and we've been in meetings all afternoon, so
Would
we're-
we maybe want to table that?
I would love to table it, that would be my recommendation, there's no rush on it.
Alright, so could I get a motion to table, and this is just this one policy, not all four of them. Can I get a motion to table policy IGBJ on its second reading?
I'd make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Mr. Edsel, got a second? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right, so we tabled that one. So still on the table, we have policies DID, IAA, and policy IIAB/IIAC. Yep, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right, so those three have passed second reading. Thank you. All right, on to new business. We have one policy. On first reading, it's LBD-R1, and section L, it's LBD, so section L is Education Agency Relations, which I don't know why we use L for that, but this is section L, and it's Education Agency Relations. And this is in relation to homeschool, is this policy. And we basically just made some language changes in this first reading. Can I get a motion to approve policy LBD-R1 on first reading as presented, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Edsel.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, just maybe for the sake of people who are not as familiar with the policy.
Okay.
So originally, it was pretty specific to just mentioning, the opportunities for homeschooling students who would like to take a class at the high school, would like to participate in a certain program at the high school level that maybe they don't have the opportunity or don't have the access to in whatever program they're in, whether it be homeschool or private school. And so we have tried very hard as a district to cooperate and be open to working with those homeschool families or private school families in situations like that. And so we wanted to encompass the spirit of that by not just addressing high school students, but you'll notice here that the recommendation is to address that same spirit in terms of cooperation, SCSD, school district number 1 across the board.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Chairman Crum?
Yes,
I would
Ms.
like
Byman.
before we do a second reading on the policy, to make sure that we have the opportunity to add an amendment to possibly include a fee scale, because it doesn't include it in the policy. Just that way we can ensure that the district isn't losing money and we're not gouging.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
We do
Dr.
actually
Johnson.
have a separate policy for that. I don't know, Mr. Smith, you want to speak to that?
Mr. Chairman, it would be an exhibit, so Mr. Chairman, to answer Mrs. Byman's question, which is absolutely correct, but this is the regulation, and so we would have the exhibit, right, which you could change yearly based on how the financial funding changes from the state, right? So to your point, Mrs. Byman, so this regulation just says, we allow it, we have it. If you're a Steamboat Legacy kid and you're taking that, then you do have to pay a fee, because that's what whenever it gets reenacted or gets authorized, that's how it works. But then there is no fee for a kid who registers, because so all in all, Mr. Chairman, and to the board, we will have an exhibit when and if the Steamboat Legacy Fund gets authorized by the court. So that's kind of where that's at, but we're prepared for that, Mrs. Byman. So yeah, good point. So it'd be a separate component.
So that would be an LBD-E?
Dash E1, correct,
E1,
Mr. Chairman.
okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Thank you for that, Mrs. Byman. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? All right. Thank you. All right, next is this time of year, we need to nominate, and we haven't really even talked about this yet, so we're going to talk about it right now.
Two Wyoming School Board Associate delegates for the conference voting delegates for the conference in November. And in the past few years, I've been a delegate, and I think Mr. Adset was a delegate last year. If anybody else would like to do it, I'm certainly happy to do it. How about you, Mr. Adset?
I think I'd just assume that somebody else
Okay.
take it.
Is there anybody else that would like to?
Yeah,
Mrs.
me.
Fallon?
I can do it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Clint and
All right.
Morgan?
Okay.
It's a good opportunity, especially when you're first coming on the board.
All right, you guys good with that? Mr. Davidson, do you want an opportunity?
I certainly could.
I don't wanna, I've enjoyed doing it, but if you would certainly, if you would like to be part of that, that's fine too, so.
I certainly can.
Okay.
I'd do it.
All right, why don't we, I'll step out and Brian and Morgan can be our voting delegates this year. You guys good with that? All right. So can I get a motion to nominate Brian Davidson and Morgan Stolick as the voting delegates at the WSBA conference?
Second.
All right, thank you. All those in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Now I'll give you the pointers on how you have to, it used to be you raised a paddle.
You got the data.
Yeah, but now it's all on your phone, so
Got it.
you have to download
It
something.
was complicated.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the annual leave bank as presented, please?
I would make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
Second.
Ms. Spivey. Any questions, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's a 5-0. The annual leave bank is presented. All right. Excited about that. All right. Now, bus routes. We have to approve bus routes. Good thing we have people that know bus routes, because we
Good
certainly
thing we have a
don't.
computer system that
Right.
helps us out.
I'm so glad we have transportation director. All right, can I get a motion to approve the 2025-2026 bus routes as presented, please?
I'd make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll second.
thank you. Questions, comments?
Can we go over each stop? one
Yeah,
by
let's
one?
go over. Right. No, I'll tell you, I'm excited about the walkway going in, because we might be, once that walkway's in, we might be getting rid of the one stop on the highway, so. But besides that, yeah, no, we're not going over each stop.
But you really didn't want us to approve the way you presented it.
It's okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. All right, we have an early graduation request. Yeah. Can I get a motion to approve the early graduation request as presented, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments? I'm just amazed at how these kids are moving on, getting on, so. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, all right, thank you. All right, we have 2 more graduates. Ms. Stock, do we have any correspondence?
I do not have any.
Oh, okay, how about that? How about, do you have any reports, requests, concerns? From maybe
From,
you had a rec board
yep,
meeting, didn't you?
rec board meeting.
How long did that last?
It was good. We went through the bylaws. We're not really ready to cut anything out yet until the community center, rec center is kind of more moving, so that we know how to kind of direct those
Okay,
bylaws.
so a little muddy.
Still a little muddy, but we did go through them, and we realized we've been calling Mr. Garber our chairman when really our bylaw says he's the president. So,
So it's Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Change his title then. All right, thank you. Mr. Davidson, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
All right, how about you, Ms. Spivey?
The Tongue River Child's Place recently received a $10,000 grant from the Watt Foundation. Their preschool is full, they have 40 students in there right now, and they will be starting their kindergarten readiness program in October.
Thank you. Mr. Adsit, anything to report? Good. And I have nothing to report either. I signed some checks for the natural gas, but besides that, nothing to report on that. We do have a meeting this Thursday. All right, we'll have board signatures, no executive session tonight. All right, so we are adjourned. Thank you. And great job with the start of the new year, everybody. Done great, thank you.
I was training them to do this. Can they see you? We didn't mention it, but I saw
Yeah, I don't think I wanna make it very late.